Alright, hello, welcome to Elite Dangerous. Thought I'd try some YouTube streaming today. I don't stream on YouTube very often, but I figured what the heck, we'll give it a try. And I've been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous lately, so that's what we're going to be doing here. So today, I want to kind of show you what I've been up to. If anyone plays the game or is familiar with it. This is my ship. As you can see, it's got a bit of wear on it. Could use a touch up on the paint. But we're kind of far away from anywhere that can do that. We are exploring out in deep space. So this is where we are, right about... actually, we're over here, aren't we? This is where we are. Vivi PST C30. And we started way over here, about 13,000 light years away. So we've traveled quite a bit. We got a couple waypoints I want to check out eventually, but the main goal I'm going for right now is to try to get as far out to the edge of the galaxy that I can. It's getting to be a bit tough though. The further out you get, the more space there is between the stars. So once we get to here, we're going to see if we can maybe how much further out we can go. You can kind of tell, it might be hard to see, there's a little dotted line that shows actually that's kind of odd. There's like a gap there, isn't there? I wonder if that's actually going to work. But you can see it gets a bit wonky when you get further out. Usually there's so many stars, you can kind of just go wherever. Like say if we go towards the center where it's more cluttered. I mean, look at this. Look at how many stars there are. You can go way down and there's still just millions probably. You can go way, see it's even kind of laggy. Go to the top, it starts to thin out. But then once you get to kind of where we are, they're just so kind of few and far between that it's tough to really plot your points. So what we're doing, we're just going system to system. We're taking a look at what planets are there. We're doing some scans. If there's anything interesting, we go stop by that planet, or if there's any phenomena. I haven't seen any of that yet out here, but if there is, we'll stop by and pay it a visit. And then eventually we'll figure out where to go next. So we're doing about, I think 71.2 is about how many light years we can do a jump. So that's pretty good. I think usually if you get above 50, you're doing alright. So this ship is designed for exploration, and yeah, you can tell if you do 70 light year jumps, we've gone 30,000 light years. Or sorry, 13,000. We haven't gone 30 yet.
System scan complete.
And then that's our honk. We see if there's anything out here. And of course, this is our FSS. I forget what the first F stands for. It's a type of scan. You see FSS scanner in the bottom corner there. If there were planets here, we could actually kind of see, you know, some information about them once we tune that frequency. But because this is pretty empty, we're just going to go on. We do have a fuel scoop. You can see on the bottom right corner there where it says fuel. We're using 1.94 an hour. Our capacity is like 32 tons, I think. And that blue is how much fuel we'll use per jump. So obviously, when we're this far out, there's no stations really out here. There's very few deep space stations. They're all kind of in like one part of the galaxy, so you need a way to refuel, so we have a fuel scoop for that. But not every star we can scoop from. There's an anarchy system because no one lives out here. There's no government. There's no anything. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the stream. We're just getting started here. I have been streaming this on Twitch lately. Like I wanted to do YouTube streaming a try here. See how we do. See, there's our fuel. We're getting fuel. About 590 units, whatever it is per second. And now we got 9 different things out here. Obviously the star is one, and the star is blocking our view, so we're going to have to move here. And then you can move your scanner here. And see, we got a rocky ice world. There's no location, so nothing fancy about that. Is this rocky ice? Oh, this is ice body still? You can kind of tell there's some ravines there, or some canyons. It's probably canyons. They're actually pretty huge once you get close. There we go, another one. So we're also looking for, obviously, if there's any life or xenological stuff, we're going to go visit that for sure. But we're looking for, it's most likely going to be out here is geological stuff, so anything like ice geysers, molten geysers, stuff like that. That's going to be the more likely thing we're going to find. And then because that star is blocking us, we're going to have to reposition here. Get a little bit better view of our star, or view of our system here. Just slow down, go back to the scanner, and there's that last one that we missed.
System scan complete.
And there the computer's saying our scan's complete, but again, there's nothing really fancy here. It's all mainly just ice bodies and stuff. Once you scan them, you can go over here to your menu and kind of see. Yeah, like there's some planets that you can actually terraform. It says they're terraformable. Those are actually worth some money. When you do go back to a station, you can kind of, you sell the data that you collect, which is what we're doing now, and you can make some good money that way if you so wish. Yeah, that's about all there is to it. So it can be a bit repetitive. We're going, you know, system to system to system to system, just looking to see what's out there. And a lot of times it's just nothing, but sometimes there's some pretty crazy stuff. Like there's some pretty, like I said, there's some pretty sweet canyons, some mountains. There's stuff out there.
System scan complete.
And again, there's nothing here. So sometimes there will be like stellar phenomena. If you go to our codex here, let's see if we can maybe look some up. That's my guy right there, looking pretty snazzy. Again, this doesn't have that much, so I don't know if it's going to be here. So this is all the, in this section, is divided up into sections, the galaxy is. And in this particular section, this is all that's here. And then there's only 2 forms of organic. There's crystalline shards, and then there's these space pumpkin things. Yeah, in this particular part of the galaxy, there's no real, nothing fancy. That'd be kind of, I haven't found that yet. Massive stars. But then if we go to, like, let's say, I think this is where we start. See, there's some xenological stuff. If we go to astronomical, we can go down to, oh, maybe it's not under this. Maybe it's, might be under biological, maybe? Here we go. Yeah, so like there's some clouds, there's some different phenomena like out in space. On this section, where we were before though, and the section that we're in now, there's not much. And of course there's xenological, there's some aliens, there's some Thargoids. Here's some Guardians, which is a race that died out a long time ago. And of course you have something like here, the center of the galaxy, you have the black hole and you have the supermassive black hole. So Bloody Nutter was the first one to get credit for that, I guess. That's kind of funny. So you see there's different types of each too. They're not all the same. There's only, that's not that many type of gas planets. That's interesting. White dwarfs are incredibly dangerous. You gotta be really careful with those. Yeah, see, there's not a whole lot towards the edge. But eventually what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of loop around and go more. Yeah, see, this actually has some like clouds and stuff. And they got, ooh, silicate crystals. But one of my goals was to see how far out we could get. That's one of the things I wanted to do, was just to kind of go out to the edge. You can see, kind of hard to tell with the star right there, but there are not that many stars the further out we get. If we, let's look behind us real quick. There's my, I think that's my fuel scoop getting put away. If we look behind us, yeah, that's where all, you know, the majority of stuff is. There's that Milky Way, but we're so far out, there's just not a lot between us and nothing. You can kind of see, compare the two. It's just, there's a, you know, there's a few dozen, but it's just black, very creepy. So we'll just continue on seeing what we can find. I do plan to do some, I got a list of stuff I'm looking for, and with the codex, you know, there's stuff that's reported. People have turned in the data, they sold it or whatever to a new station, and it kind of gets, I think actually with the codex it gets updated automatically, like, you know, galaxy wide, no matter where you are, no matter what platform you're on. But for data that you have, you got to sell it somewhere. You got to go to a station and sell it. We got 14 planes, a bunch of asteroids, which I usually don't go for those. So these, the cluster's going to get in the way. I think this is a high metal. That's what it says it is, at least. There are a lot of those that are, you can terraform, so they're actually worth money to scan. People want data on terraformable planets. So. And it takes a while, but you see there are locations here. There's a few that I'm looking for. I got a list of about 3, 7, 8, 10, 12 things I'm looking for. 12. It says iron magma. We actually need that, so I'm going to write this down on my notepad here. A3A. So we're going to check to see what else is out here first before we start making trips, because like I said, we'll map, you can map planets too, and you can sell that data when you get back to there's our asteroid. Asteroids don't really count for much. I think the data is actually not worth anything if you try to sell it. Let me take a look here. These are just, you can tell right away there's just nothing in that particular setup. Oh, maybe we can get it. Okay, so we got one more somewhere. There we go, we can sneak that. There's a brown dwarf. Okay, it is behind the star, so we're gonna have to reposition again. I know our fuel in the bottom right says we're there. It goes updated. It takes a while to update sometimes, but that's just the way it is. Looks like we moved far enough away. So now we can go to our system map. And kind of see. We're looking for anything. Man, it looks like it's not going to be any of these. That says terraform. So we're going to go to A3A, which is this guy. Very close. 59 light seconds. We'll round up. So we're going to reposition ourselves here. And we're going to go ahead and check it out. We'll do a detailed surface scan to kind of map it. And yeah, we'll see how it turns out. You kind of see we're headed towards the galactic center. We're not going there quite yet. We will get there eventually, don't worry. I got a plan. But it takes a while. I mean, there's a lot to check out here. A lot of it, I'm sure people will say, oh, it's so repetitive, it's whatever, but it's just really cool. I do look forward to getting Like, I want to see how far out I can get, just how desolate and dark and alone. Super scary. There's a glitch there. I'm also looking forward to... That one must be much bigger. Because, like, we're right on top of this one. So here's our... It's a small planet. It only requires 2 probes. I think it's about as small as you can get. It's just 2 probes. We'll go ahead and launch those. The goal is to try to get it as few as possible. So this is a little bit larger one. It's not that small. There are some planets where you can just map it with 1 probe. That's how small it is.
Surface scan complete.
Perfect. Alright, so what we're going to do now... Looking for the G... Here we go, that one might be good. That's kind of close. I want to make sure it's in the light. So you can actually kind of see. We'll aim for this one. The reason I go into combat mode is because there's like a little... From when we mapped it, there's that little blue bubble over it, so... Just want to make sure that... It's all working good. Whoa! We want a nice controlled descent. We don't want to go crazy here. I'm gonna check my sound real quick, so you're probably gonna hear double me for just a moment. My sound real quick, so you're probably gonna hear double. That's pretty good. A little choppy. I don't know if that's just me or if it's if I'm watching the stream or whatever. Hopefully it's not too bad for anybody watching. Nice and gentle. No need to freak out. We'll slow down to 2,500 kilometers a second here. And then we'll start to glide. A little further away than I would have liked. What's the gravity? 0.12. It's kind of hard to see with that thruster kind of right over the HUD there, but here's what it is. This is a larger ship. It is an Anaconda. It's one of the bigger ships in the game. It's got some pros and cons. The pros is it can fit a lot of stuff in it, a lot of compartments or what have you. The downside is obviously the view's not that great. You don't got a whole lot of visibility. It can only fit on large pads, so if you go to like an outpost, it probably won't fit. With this particular ship, the gravity indicator there is kind of blocked. Maybe we could turn up the brightness on the thing. I don't really like having it that bright. That's a little better. Might be a little bit easier to make out there. I wish it was. I know people change their colors a lot. I'm not really interested in doing that yet. Okay, so ideally you want to get in within about 15 kilometers, so a little further away than I would have liked, but that's alright. Do some boosting here to cut back. So there's 8 geological locations on this planet. I think they're not always the same. So like if one says there's water geysers, you know, if that's the volcanism, there might be a couple different types of that. You know, it's probably going to be water still, or magma, iron, or ammonia, or what have you, but it's going to be, you know, a couple different types of that potentially. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see what this place has got for us. What's in store. Looks like this is going to be a bit of a canyon. Free camera here. There's our paint job peeling away because there's the stars, so we can't see the galaxy from where we're at. As you travel, you do take wear and tear. We do got some ways to repair our ship. Although the one module you can't repair is your power plant. So if that breaks, you're in a bit of trouble. There is a way to kind of get it sort of working again, but... And there they all are. It all just kind of popped in at once, didn't it? You gotta be careful here. Gravity's not too bad. There are some high G planets that you gotta watch out for when you're trying to land on them, because especially with a big ship like this, it wants to just slam down. Okay, what do we got here? We can land and a little fast. Let's nose up a little bit here. It's actually a lot easier to land and scan, but we'll see if we can get by with. So it's nothing new. Just a variation of something else. So we'll just go ahead and move on. I'm interested in stuff I haven't gotten yet. Yeah, there's some little geysers that shoot out. Water or what have you. Oops, we gotta put away our hard point. We have some scanners that pop out. When you go into super cruise, it's faster than light travel. You can't have them just sticking out every which way. You gotta kind of be careful. Alright, so now that we're clear of that, we can go back to our next goal, which is 70.5 light years away. And even though we're still pretty close to the planet, we can still do our next jump. It's just going to charge up a bit slower because we're so close to the gravity of this planet here. Get on the next location. They call this the honk. It kind of makes a honk when you do so. We don't want to get too close and cause heat damage to our ship, so we do gotta watch out for that. Looks like these are going to be all high metal content worlds, so maybe we'll have some terraformable planets we can map out. Get some bit of money. Now normally if it's been mapped, or actually usually discovered first, it'll actually say like who discovered it first. So it'll say like Commander Danglebone discovered it. If I mapped it, we can get these two at least, but I think we'll have to move for the last one probably. There's two of them. It's kind of hard to see with how, because the star is basically white and then the arrows to put where to go is white, so you do kind of gotta be mindful of that. But we'll turn around here. Reposition a bit, and of course the heat, if it goes above 100, you start to have a bad time for your ship. If it gets too high, it'll start damaging pretty hardcore, so we do kind of got to be careful with our heat here. Alright, now we're clear. Nothing.
System scan complete.
It'll kind of tell you some information there. Orbital period, composition, atmosphere, volcanism, surface temp, gravity, that type of stuff. So we'll go to the map here. Anything with a little blue, like half circle around it, that's okay, see, we got, wow, 4 terraformable planets. Anything with this doesn't have an atmosphere, which means you can land on it. And then once you look over, it says this body is a candidate for terraforming. 1,248 light seconds away. That's worth taking a detailed scan of the surface, so we're going to go ahead and do that. That'll be worse than cash. So we just point our nose that way and we just let the ship go on down. Of course, the further away it is, the longer it will it'll take to get there, but let's see, we got what, about a minute, and it changes too, because the further away from gravitational bodies you get, the faster you go. Of course, the closer you get, you start to slow down again. So yeah, it's pretty dark out here compared to being a bit closer to the center. We'll keep pushing it out here though, see how far we can get. We got 4 of these guys to scan. Here's actually, which one is this? That's we're going too fast anyways. That's okay. We might do a little bit of back and forth driving here, but see, even though we're not quite close to our goal here yet, that other planet kind of slowed us down a little bit. So on the left, there's our surface scanner. It says we're out of range. Now we're going too fast, so we can slow down, go into the scanner mode, and once we kind of come close, we usually stop around, I think, like 30 kilometers a second or something like that, or 30,000 a second. I don't know. I'll have to look here and see. So we just shoot off probes. Our goal is to get 6 or less. We'll see if we can do it in 4, or if we gotta shoot off one more here. We'll find out. I'm looking at the back, and this is what the front looks like as we scan it. Might have to do one more. I don't know if I got it quite right. I should have spaced them out a bit better. You can use the gravity of the planet to kind of boomerang, I don't know if that's the right term, but kind of like, you know, make them go around to the back. Kind of go from there.
Surface scan complete.
Whoops, that wasn't necessary. That's alright. Okay. We'll go to our next one. Oh, see, they orbit each other, so I bet that one... Yeah, so one that we passed here. Since we're already hit our goal, that random probe's not going to matter. It should be fine. And it's only a few light seconds away, so it's not like a huge, massive journey. Most people's, a lot of people like doing medium ships. This is a large, there's a small, medium, large. Mediums are a really good all-around ship. They can fit, you know, all the starports are at least mediums, so it doesn't matter where you park. Or, it doesn't really matter because you're always going to fit. Whereas the large, you have a lot fewer options. Larges are also a bit tougher to maneuver around because they're a bit bulkier. We'll try to go out to there. Of course, we can't really see this side, it's a bit dark. Wow, they really kind of overlapped each other, didn't they? That wasn't great. If I was a bit closer, it'd probably be a lot better. Because I'm so far out. You gotta get 90%, and then it kind of fills in the rest for you. So if you can get 90, oh, that's terrible.
Surface scan complete.
It'll work, I guess. So we should have been a lot closer. That would have made it a little bit easier. Okay, so this one is also a terraform candidate. It's got a water atmosphere. Interesting. Actually, you know what? Let's see if the other one's closer. Because this one is also a candidate too. Oh, I think they're both about the same. Excuse me. Same direction here, so we'll go ahead and just do the one first. This mapping data is pretty valuable. This is why we other planet, if you just get like a rocky planet, an icy planet, a rocky ice planet, icy rock, or one of those. Like they're not really, even if they have geological features, it's not really worth a whole lot. You want to get the high metal contents that are terraformable. The Earth-like worlds, of course, pretty rare, but they're out there. Also want to look for ammonia. I think they're the rarest. And then the water worlds as well. So a couple things to look out for. And of course, I don't know if you can, I think you can terraform ammonia worlds. I'm not actually sure. I know some water worlds are candidates for terraforming, some of them are not. But we'll go for any of them that are. That's our goal today. One of our goals. We have quite a few goals. We also want to get out there. Eventually we're going to start turning. We'll probably go here. I also want to get out to there, but I kind of want to, I'm not really sure what I want to do yet. It's just, when you're at the edge of the galaxy, it's just tough. There's not as many things out here. Stuff gets spaced further and further apart. So doing jumps is more difficult because, there might be a space between stations that's more than your ship can actually jump. So it's like, There are ways to kind of give yourself a bit of a boost. It is damaging to the ship though, and if you're not careful, if you don't pay attention to what you have or how your boosts are doing, you might get to some place and then get stuck. So something to kind of keep in mind. But we're still okay right now for that. We're not too worried. If you're wondering about the time, I think that's Zulu. I'm not really sure actually. I'm assuming it is. I think it is. Aviation goes by that time, so maybe this takes place in the year 2305. I don't know if it says it anywhere in the game, but that's where it takes place. So maybe they have a new time or something that they call it. Here's our third out of the 4. It's a shame we can't land. Maybe we'll go halfway. We'll see what this gives us. See halfway in that inner circle there with the little white bar. We'll see if this makes it any better when it comes to spacing. So I usually do like one directly in the center. And I try to get it evenly kind of spread out. That's actually a bit better.
Surface scan complete.
That gave us what we needed. Yeah, once you hit 90%, you're good to go. Let's go visit the 4. So 4 of these are pretty good. That's about 1900 light seconds away. Let me see if I can find what Because they just changed the way this all works for exploration. Stuff's worth a lot more now, I think. So people really haven't figured out kind of what stuff is worth anymore. Prices have changed. There are some pretty good sites out there that kind of will help you figure stuff out. Looks like we're still slowly increasing speed there, so we got a little ways to go. Elite Dangerous Star Map is a pretty nice tool. You can kind of use that to see if anything is out there that might be interesting for you. Alright, as we get closer, I should start paying attention again here. Over jumping's not a big deal. As long as you don't crash into it, that's the thing. You don't want to crash into it. There's a bit of it there. You can use that site to kind of plan your routes. You can use it to find any points of interest. Visit asteroid bases. Those are pretty cool. There's a lot you can do. Slow down here, take a look at what we got. So we'll do one right in the middle, front. We'll see if our halfway trip is pretty good again. Halfway in that inner circle with that little white bar. Might be okay. The trick is you don't want to overlap, which we're kind of doing on the front there, so I don't know. But if it gets us there, I mean, again, as long as we're under the target, we're at the target or under, we're fine. We get a bonus for that, so. I don't know how big of a bonus it is, that's the thing. All the prices changed for selling data like a month and a half ago, and people haven't quite gotten it all figured out yet, so. We'll see what's out there. There could be... The nice thing is that because we're so far out, like, none of the stuff we're seeing has been discovered before, so it might not be all that exciting. I see these are all just icy bodies, so this probably isn't going to be worth very much here. Looks like they're all at the other star. Oh, and it's a brown dwarf. It is worth a bit more money to be the one to discover it. Now the trick is you can't die until you sell the data. If you die when you sell before you sell the data, it's all gone. So you could be out here for... Some people go out for days, some people weeks and months, some people go and never come back. There are a few, there's like a second, they call it a bubble. The main bubble is where you start out. That's kind of where all humanity is. It's a pretty good size. It's thousands and thousands of systems, if not more.
System scan complete.
Yeah, so nothing fancy here. This is, let's see here. We'll switch our map to the power play, which is people fighting for power, but it's way the heck over here. This is kind of the bubble. That's where all the main inhabitant stuff is. I mean, there's people all around it too. It's just not quite as dense. And then there's over here, there's like a little mini bubble. It's not quite as big, but it's out there quite a ways. So, and you can play. There's a couple different modes you can do, or a few. There's solo play, which is just you by yourself. You don't see anybody else. There's private group, which could be you and some friends. And then there's open, which is just everybody's open and can see each other. There's also, open PvP, so people could just kill you. Yeah, see, a lot of these are updated, so I can't tell you exactly what the price is on stuff, because it hasn't all really been figured out yet, I guess. It took a long time to get the first set. This is kind of a pack system. Well, there's no gas giants. Usually there's gas giants that, there's the main gas giant, and they'll have, a bunch of moons floating around. But this one's just all... So high metal content. There's also metal rich. As far as I know, I haven't seen any terraformable metal rich planets. It's just an icy body. I'm guessing. Oh, maybe we got lucky. We won't have to move. Looks like we kind of lucked out there. So you kind of see some data there. If you're interested in that, I don't understand a lot of it. I'm still kind of learning. This one doesn't want to pop up for some reason. Of course, the info there also shows you the any materials. We can't go down to a lot of these planets if they're landable. And right now in the game, if there's no atmosphere and if it's most types of planets that don't have an atmosphere you can land on. Okay, so this might have something, because for whatever reason it takes a long time for the game to tell you if there's any geological locations. If it's like a human or Thargoid or Guardian or biological, it'll tell you right away. So iron magma. I do need that, so if it's the right one, let's take a look here. A1A, iron magma. We might make a visit there just to see if it's what I need here. We'll do a little driving on the planet. Have some fun. They are a good place to farm resources as well. There are a bit of crafting, you could say. I mean, either it's...
System scan complete.
Okay. You can synthesize stuff that you can use for your ship while you're out and about. Because like right now, like I said, we can't go to a station to repair because there are no stations out here where we're at. So it looks like none of them are terraformable. And we want to go to A1A, which is right here. So the heating and metallic content will be small, central core. So it's really close, less than 40 light seconds away. It's directly behind us. We're kind of facing the wrong way here. So we'll start to turn around. And maybe we'll do a landing here. Beautiful shot. Look at that. Look how far away we are. We can kind of see basically the whole galaxy. And if you're in the center of the galaxy, it's just going to be nothing but stars is all you're going to see in the background. It's just almost blinding. So as cool as it is just to see like nothing out here, I am kind of looking forward to getting to the center and seeing some of the crazy stuff over there. have it. There's A1. We're just passing him by. You can say hello. But this is the one we're interested in. We're going really fast here. It's probably going to be a smaller planet. Oh yeah, 2 probes. You can. I think we can handle that. We'll see if we actually need to do 2, if we can get by with just 1. Oh yeah.
Surface scan complete.
Oh, there's at least 9. Oh yeah, just 9. It says right there. I'm blind. So I'm gonna switch to combat mode to get rid of that kind of map cover on it, just so I can see where we're going here. Be nice to get a cool one that's got a good view. If they have those dotted, if they're kind of in that beige color, it means they're on the other side. Look at that, there's like some mountains there, so we'll probably have to go to the other side here, so we'll see if we can pull this off. Adjust our speed here. This has got some mountains on it, do you see that? I'm gonna keep it on this so I can see. The downside to this is we're not going to have much light from the star. Probably. And again, because this ship's so big and bulky, it makes it kind of... Yeah, eventually it'll turn kind of yellowish orange like that is right now. Where A2 is. Like there it goes. Unfortunately, it's going to be kind of dark. But who knows? Maybe it'll be a cool view. We do have night vision. We'll go a little bit further, maybe. If you go too fast, you jump out of Super Cruise kind of violently. And there we go. Now see, this is actually good. I mean, we're further away than I want it to be. But sometimes when you're too... If you go too fast or whatever, it will... you won't even get to glide. You just basically come to a stop. And it does do some damage to your ship. And like I've said many times, if you're this far out, there's nowhere to really... We're really far away. Let's see if we can put our glide... longer here. If you go, excuse me, above 5, it's gonna pull you out, which again we're gonna be pretty far away. Okay, we're still 25 kilometers up, so this might be a little bit better. I might why our lights got turned off. Usually I have the lights on. There we go. Once we're close, it'll kick in for the night vision. Let's go a little bit longer, maybe. Ideally, you want to be about 15 kilometers away. That's usually pretty good. And we're very close to that. So. It looks like it's going to be in this canyon here, so this will be kind of a interesting deal. And then maybe once we land, we're not going to be able to see the Milky Way, I think, once we're actually landed in this thing. I don't know if we'd be able to land or not if there's too rough of terrain. There's our mast lock, so we're slow down for safety here. Go back to analysis mode. This ship doesn't have any weapons. There's no guns. There's no lasers. There's no cannons. There's nothing here, so... There they are. They're all just kind of popping in. Gravity is about 0.05, which... easily handle. So nothing new, unfortunately. It's just a variation of something we've already had, which is kind of a bummer. We are a bit closer than I wanted to be. There we go. We're going to landing here. I think we're going to be landing like right in the middle of it.
Landing gear deployed.
And there it's telling our ship to kind of line up with the ground here. Ideally, you want to land kind of further away, because we have a ground vehicle called an SRV that we can use. We'll turn that off. I went with a smaller power plant, so some stuff we're not using we shut down to save on power. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to handle all of it. Really? I must have just gassed it up before doing that. So we do have headlights and night vision on this too.
Gravity warning.
We'll get a little bit better look at them here. Let's re-highlight that so I know where to go. It's behind us. There's the brights of the ship kind of blinding you. Yeah, I think we're too far. Oh, you can kind of see. Is that it? Oh, we can't go to turret mode because we're too close to the ship here. Let's go all the ways. Still too close. Right. There we go. There we go. There's our gun. You see they're on the cliff there. But yeah, we're too far in the Oh. That's kind of... I don't know if you can see that, how well you can, but there's the other planet. Now see, there are little things here that grow on these that you can shoot and collect resources from. Just drop our cargo scoop. So when we drive over them, we'll be able to pick them up. You go to turreted mode to kind of get a better angle on shooting some of these things. That's kind of a rarer one. There's 5 levels of rareness, I guess, for all the materials. This is 3 out of 5, so it's pretty... It's getting on the rare side. Uncommon side. Like that's also a 3. And because this is pretty low gravity, it's going to fly around here. There's another one. This material, one of its uses is for boosting your, it's called an FSD drive, I guess it's FSD, frame shift drive. That's what the D, FSD stands for. Let's get a better shot here. Zinc is a useful material, we do use that. Some of these aren't going to be really possible to get, at least not easily, because they're on a cliff. Right now we're kind of in the bottom of a canyon. Iron again. You can see we got 200 and some out of 300. Every time you pick up a piece, you get 3. So you don't know what you're going to get till you shoot it. At the cobble here versus the crystals, they do give different things. When you're out this far, you gotta refuel your SRV and add more ammo yourself. If you're... It does repair on its own in the hangar of your ship. Pretty nice, but... Otherwise, normally if you stop at a station... It's really it'll do it for you automatically. But because we're pretty far away from a station, we're not going to do that. We're getting a lot of this stuff. See, our gravity's so low, it just takes forever for it to finally land. So, for our trip, we're pretty well stocked on, I think, most things. But it's nice to be able to land and get some more if need be. Hoping to get that before we get too close to the ship. Because eventually your turrets go down, you can't shoot if you're too close. So you don't shoot your own ship. Yeah, because we're hiding from this, we're on the other side, the dark side of the planet right now, and we're in a deep ravine, there's not much light here. We could do, again, night vision, but I kind of like this. Nickel. I think we'll go back to our ship now. Wasn't quite as much as I had hoped. I was hoping we'd get something that we actually needed off my checklist here. That is alright. Kind of a neat little side trip. So if we went to a different one, we might get something different, but I'm not very good at going from site to site on planets. It's a bit tricky, at least for me. So, I think we'll just move on. We'll try to find some new place and just go from there, eh? So before we take off, we do gotta shut down our hangar, because once we get going, we're going to trim back our thrusters. You see, thrusters take up a lot of power, and we're going to be, once our frame shift drive comes back online, that's our booster, like it's a 10 light years of jump extra. And there's our frame shift drive. You can see my power plant. I repaired everything but the power plant. You can't repair that out in the wild, which kind of sucks. Unless you get really low, then there's something you can maybe do to get it going a little bit, but I mean, because we have such a small power plant, if it did start to malfunction, we'd be in kind of big trouble. We have to shut down a lot more than we already have, so. We'll go ahead and vacate here. Yeah, you have local chat if you're in, with other people, but because we're just, even if we weren't open, because we're just so far out. Whoa! You just came. I didn't realize he was right there. If we go to, I think it's under, I don't think it's status. So reputation. Oh, it's going down, my reputation. Balance. It's 11 million to repair my ship. If it were to die. I think it's under codex. Again, it's basically just like a variation of what we already discovered. So, what's it under? Is there another one? What else is there? I don't know why that's still lit up. It shouldn't be. What are you on about? Oh, is this what it was? Or a different one? It doesn't matter. So, Commander Danglebone is my name. I have 9 ships that I own. I have 2 elites. 900 million credits. 2,700 systems visited. 501 million on outfitting. Feels pretty cheap. Feels nothing. 2 million on repairs. That's about right. Combat I'm not very good at. Crime I'm not very good at. Criminal, haven't done much with that. Trading's pretty fun. I like trading. 1.3 billion from mining is ridiculous. Exploring is the fun one. Total hyperspace distance. SRV traveled. This is our max distance from start. Is 13,365 light years. I made about 500 million from exploring. This is my furthest journey yet. This is the furthest I've been away from the start. We'll see how much further we can get. It's going to take a long time. We'll be gone for quite a while. Again, there's no rush. We have all the time in the world. And this is just one aspect of the game. If you wanted to, you could just stay in the bubble. And there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do there. I kind of like to just to get out and check stuff out. So, and of course on the other side of the galaxy, there's, as far as we know, no bases, just nothing. One thing I did kind of want to take a look at, it was kind of neat, is if you go to the galaxy map, you can organize stuff by different options. Oh, here's star class. You can do security stars visited, state, because there's different. You know, out here there's nothing because there's no people. So. But if you see, if we unclick none for civilization, all the empty systems, there's nothing on it. But if we get to the bubble here, or attempt to, there's all the systems that have stuff in it. So they have 40 million people. Here's Seoul. 22.8 billion people. Of course, it's spread out a bit. They're not just on Earth. You can take a look here. We're just going into empty space, so we shouldn't have any risk of crashing. There you see Mercury's populated. Does it say the population here? Looks like it doesn't. Don't think Venus is. Mars is terraformed. Here's some moons that have some bases on them. There's a bunch of space stations as well. But one trick, people look for civilizations out in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of what they'll do. They'll go to their filter and try to filter out, you know, empty things. And then one person actually found there was a space station that was actually able to move around. It could jump. And somebody found it by just searching a random spot of space that had a population, and sure enough, you know, it wasn't much, but it was enough to be picked up by the thing, so they found it, which is kind of neat. Of course, there are rumors and stuff. What's out here? So you just don't know. few people playing, but that's because there's billions and billions and billions and
System scan
billions of
complete.
systems. Like such a small, tiny fraction. It's like 0.03, I think it's up to now. It was 0.001 before, so it is starting to grow. People are starting to explore, but there's just so much that hasn't done. It'll take a long time to discover. Hello, how you doing? I apologize if I missed that earlier. Right now in the game there's a huge, it's like 10,000 players I think, doing something called Distant Worlds 2. There's like a big group is exploring on their own.
System scan complete.
I guess not on their own, but part of a big group. They're trying to get a new space station built at the center of the galaxy, at least very near it. So if you hold shift, you can kind of lean back in your seat and check out the reflected there. If you do the free mouse move, you can kind of look around your ship a little bit. If you have VR, I guess you can actually like walk around a little bit and get a much better view. So there's some neat stuff out there. What if I could actually move this? I'll have to look later. I don't want to crash. 21, so this made up for our deficit. Metal content, those are the ones that are pretty good. Creepy there. So usually the, oh here we go. That's odd, usually gas giants will have a whole bunch of, not always I guess, they'll have a whole bunch of moons waiting for them. Let me see here. Oh, it's actually kind of nice. I can pop the chat out and move it over. Maybe it'll be easier for me to see. Put that back over there. There we go. Hopefully I'll catch chat better. There's the B star. I gotta remember to check. Sometimes I go quick. But checking for any geological features that might be worth checking out. Red dwarf. Some stars you can't scoop fuel on. Some you can. It's back down here. There we go. Just adjusting my settings here. Hopefully nothing behind the star. I like not having to move if I don't have to. So we got just a few left here. Of course, there's one behind the star. There almost always is, just the way it goes. I could probably do a better job of parking when I first come in. We'll get a ways away from the star here. let's get further away. Our heat's going up kind of high. I don't like that. You see, we got some smoke starting to sizzle. I don't think it's that bad. They're kind of overreacting there. Whatever. We'll take the hint.
System scan complete.
Okay, do we have anything that is terraformable? These should just be rocky. I'm pretty sure Rockies aren't. Here's one, two. It's a massive gas giant by himself, quite a ways away. So we got 2 planets that we can terraform. Well, we can't. We don't have that technology for ourselves, but somebody can, and because of that, they'll want the data on the planet. So we'll go ahead and gobble it up. Not too terribly far. Five A4 is our first on the list. Name of my I keep thinking there's like ships passing me because it's making kind of the noise. It's probably just the planets or whatever that we're zipping by, but if you're in free camera mode, you can also just make your panels pop up just by looking. There's 4 of them. That one doesn't really do much. So like, let's say you had a VR headset, that's how you'd pop it up. Otherwise you hit 1, 2, 3, 4, it kind of forces you to look, and it's a bit more zoomed in. That's how it would look in VR. It's actually, I think, curved a bit in VR too. What I've heard, VR is pretty sweet for this game, but VR is also very expensive. So is what it is. Whoops. Apologize for my phone going nuts there. Apparently I'm in a winter storm watch. Buzz, buzz, buzz. 7 probes. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah. And maybe one just, we'll call it a YOLO one, as the kids say. What do we have? Oh.
Surface scan complete.
Now see, because we got the scan complete before that last probe hit, I mean, it doesn't matter because we're still at or below either way, but I think because we got it mapped first, it doesn't matter if we do more probes after that. Candidate for terraforming, that's what we want, that's what we're gonna go scan. So if you want to make money doing exploration, which you can do, since this last patch 2.3, it does pay pretty well now, I think. High metal content worlds that are terraformable, Earth-likes of course, ammonia, and water world, whether they're terraformable or not for either any of those. So Earth-like, ammonia, water, mapable no matter what. High metal content you want to map if they are terraformable. Everything else really I don't think is worth mapping from what I understand. Yeah, so I mean you can if you want to. I mean, it might be a little bit of money, but like if it's just like a rocky with nothing on it, I think it's actually worth 0 credits. I think icy might be similar too, but it's just an icy planet. It's not really going to be worth much, so just kind of a heads up. Oh yeah. I'm in for some wild weather. there's there can be quite a bit of travel time. So like sometimes what I'll do if I'm doing this is I'll have like a different game on the other monitor when I'm not streaming. Or like I'll watch YouTube videos. I know a lot of people when they watch really dangerous streams, they'll play it themselves and they'll kind of watch the stream while they're waiting to get to do whatever they're trying to do. So you haven't. I don't think there's any black holes in this section of the galaxy that we're in. If we go to our codex, we'll go to astronomical. Yeah, there is a black hole in here somewhere, and it will give you like a sample of one. It'll say like, you know, hey, it was reported at this location. You can go out there and, you know, confirm it, but there's very, very likely more than just that one sample that gives you. But if you want to see it for yourself, it does kind of show you where, like, this is where it is. It's been reported by someone else, and you go confirm it. Or if you can just find one on your own too. Like I said, there's more than one in each section, but I think the closer you get to the center, just because it's so much more dense, it's just wacky over there, is how dense it is. I mean, look at this. Like, look how few stars there are. It's like we're like in a downtown city, a bright city, and like you only see like a handful of stars because of all the light pollution. It's ridiculous. But eventually, we will get back to this, towards the center. We'll get to the bright lights, the big city. And there is a bug. I know we haven't actually mapped this yet, but it's got that little blue globe-like thing around it, which is pretty annoying, but it also makes it tough if you're just trying to land. Kind of seeing, like, because I always try to land in the light so you can see a bit better. It's kind of cool to get the starlight going. You can see the star. If there's more than one star, you can also see that sometimes. But perfect, right in the middle of the back there. Should be good enough.
Surface scan complete.
We got our efficiency target bonus. We get a little bit of extra money for that. Hit backspace. I have the keybound, so of course if you're playing on your own, you have different key bindings. That'll take us to our previous target. We can go. Now I know my ship has like a 71.2 or 4 light year jump range, but because of how spaced out it is, like this might be the closest one we can jump to. The other one might be further out from our range. So the further out you get and the more sparse it is, the crazier it's going to be for where things are. And of course, if you go to somewhere in your codex that's already been discovered, and you know it'll give you the location where you can go check it out at, odds are there's going to be stuff that's discovered in that area because people are going to that one because they know it's there. Your chances of, you know, getting the untouched systems goes down a bit. But again, because it's such a massive galaxy. And of course, you know, it's not just a flat plane. Like, it's, I think, like, what, 2,000 light years thick, I guess you could say. Stars there. So, like, you might be, like, you know, just a little bit lower than what other people have done, but because of that, you know, you might not get any previously discovered systems, so if that's your thing.
System scan complete.
That was a quick one. I think there were a couple high metals, so we do like to take. Oh, and I'm guessing no. If they don't have an atmosphere, from what I've seen, usually you don't. They're not going to be terraformable. You want the ones that have an atmosphere. And of course, there's that Goldilocks zone. I can't remember what it is for each star because each star pass is a bit different. But yeah, that is out there. Wow. I like doing that. You can also there's a free camera. You have to keybind it potentially if you don't have it done. But you can kind of go into a free camera mode and check out your ship. As you travel, I paid like $3 or $4 to get some paint jobs for my ship, but as you can see, because we haven't really repaired it, and of course it's kind of, we'll check out the next system where we can actually get you the star. They do take, you know, paint chips. Just like an airplane, they need to get touched up and then of course completely repainted every so often. I think it's 3 to 5 years for aircraft when they completely repaint them. Bumping stuff around here. There's a bright star. Maybe we'll rotate here. We'll go. That might be too bright, actually. We're kind of like drifting. Maybe stop doing this. There we go, nice and stable. So it's supposed to be like black and that teal. And the ship is kind of almost black too, but you see how it's chipping there? It's chipping away. That's actually gotten a lot worse today. Because it's supposed to be, you can kind of see like on the edge there's that line of like that greenish blue, teal, whatever it is. A lot of that's completely chipped away. That logo's chipping away too. It's supposed to be Elite Explorer. That's the registration, and because in the US, that's what registrations start with aircraft. AC's for Anaconda, 1 because it's my first one. I have one in the fleet, that's number 1. And DB's for Danglebone, which is my commander's name. Oh, look how bad the top's chipping too. It's kind of getting worn out. So that's kind of the neat thing, is that your paint job does need to be touched up. But again, if you're out in the middle of deep space, there aren't any stations around to fix it. There's our headlights very bright. So I personally think it's really cool that it does that. Kind of shows that you've been out and about for quite a while. Oh, this has some geological features and it's a high metal, so let's see what we got here. I don't know if it's a bug or not, how long it takes. I mean, if it's iron magma, do we need that? We do, so let me write this down here. I guess it's just the 3rd planet. Iron magma? We'll take a look. Excuse me. We'll see. Oh, this has something too. Look at that impact crater. That massive one, and it's got like a few of them in it. One like right on the edge. Oh, what's this Sumerian? Spuz? I don't know how they come up with it. I mean, like I said, there's probably, what, 200 billion stars? Silicate vapor. I need ice, silicate ice. I'm thinking, oh, you know what, maybe, because I do need silicate vapor for something, so let's see what planet is this. This is 2. Oh no, it's a geyser. I don't need geyser. I need the... Oh no, I think actually it could be either one. The fumarole, I think is how you said it. I could be terribly wrong. Forgive me if I butchered these words. I'm not good with words, as you might have guessed. I love those. The non-gas giant with rings. I just think they're the neatest thing. I don't know why. I'm just fascinated by it. I think they're just so cool. We do got some gas giants. I wonder if they're gonna be by themselves. High metal content. So we got maybe potential couple places to land here. Oh, you got something too? What do you have? If If there were more than one star, Iron Magma again, we've already got that written down, so we'll skip him. It'll be like A1 or B1 depending on which star it's at. But since this only has one star, it's they're all just 1, 2, 3, 4, what have you. Okay, so it looks like our last one is kind of on its own weird orbit. Sometimes it happens, they're just kind of like, where in the heck are ya? See, it's just kind of like on its own, like in the,
System scan complete.
it's got its own kind of crazy orbit. It happens. Okay. So we'll look for... Okay, so nothing's terraformable, so we want planet 2 and 3. They're pretty close. Silicate vapor, we'll see what's over here. We'll make sure we give that star some distance as we head over. That's not bad, a couple hundred light seconds. See what's out here. Just kind of curious. And you do get money again if you. I think it's if you discover it for the first time. If you find the you know, for a different section of the galaxy, it's near that section, but you've already seen it before somewhere else, you won't get the payout for it. But once you get to a station, when we do, we'll do about 420 some thousand space bucks. We have like $1 billion right now, or 300 or 900 million, something like that. I mean, oh, what is that one? That's 3 actually. Maybe we'll do that one first because it's right there. I don't want to crash here. Yeah, 3's got the iron magma. So since he's right here, we'll map him first. How many are you gonna be? Oh, 7. It's a big one. And again, some planets only need 2 probes. Some planets I've seen like 30 or something like that. Like if you want to, I don't think there's any point of mapping a gas giant. You can, people do, but I don't know if there's any real reason to. Oh, am I gonna make it? Oh, geez, okay. This is a big one, alright. You only need 4%, so hopefully that's good enough. Danglerbone Deep Space, the top right there, that's the name of my ship. I think I mentioned that before, but... You gotta be in a station, I believe, to name your ship, or give it a different registration, but...
Surface scan complete.
There's only 6. I think we'll go here because the other planet should be, I think, behind us, so we should be able to just kind of jump right to it when we take off from here. But this might have a... What was... I didn't see what the gravity was. Want to be very careful we don't mess up our... Oh, geez, 1.5. That's kind of got some weight to it, doesn't it? So we want to be a little more cautious than we were before. Nice and slow. We are kind of far away yet, aren't we? We're going 157 kilometers a second, which is kind of fast. I just don't want to damage any more of my systems by forcefully dropping out. When you're this far out, you gotta be careful. Like I keep saying, there's no stations to... What's your stuff here? There's a... Look how deep these craters are. This planet's taking quite the beating. Okay, I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Once we get to 2.5, we'll kick into glide mode here. I think we're going pretty safe. You see our ship is slowing down by itself. And there's a 2.5. It should put us in a pretty good spot. Man, that gravity makes me nervous. It's not even that bad. 1.5 isn't too terrible. But I'm used to like 0.05. So this is a little bit heavier than I land on. It's gonna probably put us much closer than 15. Not that much closer. We do gotta watch our descent too, because again, because it is heavier gravity, it's gonna pull us down a bit more. So we gotta watch our distance from our stuff here, as well as our distance from the surface, which is 2.5 and dropping. You can see like it's kind of wiggling around the it's not like sitting still, it's kind of shifting around a bit. On the real heavy planets, if we were going like this angle, we wouldn't be able to stop. We'd have to nose up and then maybe like boost if it was a real high gravity one. Okay. Holy crap, they're everywhere. We're still going down even though we're kind of going nose up.
Landing gear deployed.
Okay. See, even though we're stopped, our thrusters are at 0. We're still kind of going down a bit. Higher gravity landings make me nervous. But this field of whatever these things are is huge. We just gotta find somewhere flat enough to land. This is going to be dangerous, but... See, just tapping your down thrusters. So let's see, if we go up to 90 again. Okay, there's 90. We're at 90. Let's just tap, see how far down we go. Got 9 meters just by tapping it. And if you hit your up thrusters, it doesn't always stop you in time. So if you're in a really heavy planet, you really got to be careful. But we made it safe and sound. We're good to go. We're going to turn on... Oops, let's not do that. We want those just in case. Because our thrusters are offline, they shut off automatically. That gives us, 39% more power. We can turn on our hangar, which is a bit of a power hog, but It was either that,
Drive assist on.
or you go with a lighter hanger, or sorry, a heavier hanger. It uses less power, but for me, what we're doing...
High gravity warning.
Okay, we got a high gravity one. Interesting. There's one right over here. We want to try to shed as much weight as we can, so... And of course, once you actually land, it kind of throws you off, because now you're actually on the ground. It's a bit of a different scale, kind of throw you off a little bit sometimes. At least it throws me off. So the first thing I want to do is scan these. Now because it's a higher gravity, we can probably go faster. Normally with this thing, if it's a higher gravity, you just get launched and go flying, and it's a whole ordeal. And then these are little things we can farm resources on. So let's go see what this is. Hey, there we go, a new discovery. What do we get? Iron magma lava spout. Check that off the list. Perfect. Since we're here, maybe we'll shoot a couple things. Get a few resources, drop our scoop. You know what, I wonder if we take heat damage from this. We find out we're at 25 now. Let's see, is it this one that's the most erupting? I guess we don't, it's kind of fun. Okay, but we won't spend too much time here. Like I said, I wanted just to more... The nice thing also is that when you shoot these, when you're farming this stuff, it'll just drop down just dead. Because past it. Whereas the ones with the higher or the lower gravity, they just go flying and it's annoying. See, it just rolls right to the ground, doesn't it? I'll take that. I think we actually needed that maybe for something. So these are good farming spots if you need materials, if you're out in space and you're low, you can go ahead and grab them. Each planet kind of shows you what materials are on it, what resources. I don't know if it matters for this as much, but if you're farming just these type of things, resources should be pristine because no one's even discovered it yet, so should be good for that. Well, that was nice we got that checked off my list. Check that out. Oh, shoot. Took quite a bit of damage there crashing into that. It is still hard to steer when you're going that fast. And if you blow up your SRV, like that's basically it, you're done with that. Now I have two. I kind of sacrificed some extra weight to get extra SRV. I can be a bit reckless, so that's why I did that. Alright, we'll visit that next planet here. So we gotta go to 2. Now this would be fun. I mean, this is again, this isn't that bad of 1.5 whatever, but it'll be a bit more difficult than just a. Of course, we gotta switch all this stuff back. I don't know why this gets goofed up when we do that.
Landing gear retracted.
You can see we're not going up nearly as fast as if it was a. That gravity really pulls you, doesn't it? Alright, so we want 2. And it's like behind us, isn't it? We gotta go up and around, I guess. There we go, now we're starting to get free. Kind of as close to 90 as we can. Oh yeah, now we're cruising. Hundreds of kilometers or so. You gotta be careful though, we don't wanna. We're still kind of there. There's our next goal. We'll slow down a little bit here into the blue. The blue is kind of where it's like easiest to maneuver and stuff. It's also a good way to not overshoot stuff, which I have gotten a lot better at not doing that. I used to always overshoot. I've gotten better. A little bit better. Once we get further away from the other planet, we'll pick up more and more speed, which will get us to our next stop, which is pretty close, but like I said, because these planets are bigger, their gravity is more influential, more substantial. Now we're free of that one, now we're coming into this one. So we'll slow down to a nice... Look at that impact crater, is nuts. Shoot, why did I do that? That sucks. I just kind of wasted that, didn't I? Rapid fire 2 at the same spot, basically. Yeah, damn, that's too bad. I think we'll be okay, but... Wish I hadn't have done that. Need 14% more. Oh, that was a bad shot too. Alright, let's hope we get our 3%, because if we do one more, we'll pass that target and we won't get as many space bucks, I guess. I don't know what type of money it is. Space dollars, we won't get as many of those. That should do it.
Surface scan complete.
Alright, this has the silicate vapor, which you might even already have. Oh, it's got a few though, doesn't it? Are they all at the other... Here's one. Oh, it's like a... I don't know if I like that spot though. I see it does that, I don't like it. We'll go for this one, but again, I'm probably just overcautious how I do this, because like there's been a couple times I thought I was okay on this trip, where I thought I'd been okay, and then I ended up being not okay, and then I ended up doing damage, which again freaks me out because I can only repair so much out here, and I don't want to die and lose all my stuff. So if I make it to a station and sell all my data, I'll have Danglebone all over the world, all over the galaxy, not universe, just the galaxy. Which of course, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want their name plastered all over the universe for all to see? I'm pretty sure it's across, so if you have it on PS4, Xbox, or PC, like, it's on all of them. I think the codex data is shared on everything ever. Let's go a little bit further. Only 300 kilometers away, but we're still like, I mean, above the surface, but we're quite a few megameters away yet. Did I go too far? No, we're still okay. It'll be a little steeper than... Oh, wow. I think that's only 1.3. Oh, no, it's 1.7. Okay, this is a lot higher. Not a lot, but it's higher. It's like going fast makes me nervous. I'd rather go nice and slow. See, when the impact warning comes up, it kind of makes me nervous. 1.75. So it's a little bit bigger, I think, than that last one. It was 1.57, I think. Here we go into glide mode. We just really gotta watch our descent here. 1.77. I don't know if I go up much more than that. Pretty heavy. Although not nearly as bad as it could be. Kilometers. 10. 5. I'm gonna put some in there. We do gotta be cautious here. Again, it shouldn't be that bad. But it's a lot harder to stop when gravity's higher. Be able to scan these from the ship. It's just too risky.
Landing gear deployed.
I see we're still going down even though we're not actually moving. If I just tap F, which is my descent. It's not that bad, but I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to overdo it. Landing gears down. Yeah, see, that was a little much. Luckily, our shields there absorb that little tap. If it was a higher G, it might not have been able to do quite of a good job. That's really 1.79 is what it ended up being. Got our high gravity warning. Wow, look at all of this. Is really cool. As you can see, our SRV did repair from being in our ship, but it does not refuel or reload ammo. If we stopped at a station, it would do that. But obviously, that's not really possible at the moment. We'll get nice and close. Look at all this. This is crazy. This is steam, I'm guessing. Hey, we got one. Silicate vapor. Okay. We'll check that off my list. That's good. That's what I needed. So there it is. We still need the water one though. The water one I'm still missing. Shouldn't be exclamation mark anymore. We should have been cleared. That just means it's a new discovery. I think we discovered everything, so we should be fine. No, it's still there. What are you on? Yeah, so we're doing pretty good for this section of the galaxy. Of course, we can shoot a couple of things. I don't know what's on this planet. I didn't look at the resources on this planet. Wanted to jump in. That's a pretty crystal. There's two of them. Mercury, I think we need that for something. I just don't remember what. Oh, that's good stuff. We do need that. That's for boosting our FSD. If we want to try to squeak out a bunch more light years, that's actually pretty good. Oh God! Oh, that could have been so much worse. I panicked there. I hit accelerate instead of decelerate. I think our stock of that's pretty good. We'll still grab it because we got the space for it. Zinc is also one that we use, so we'll go ahead and grab that. I mean, since we're here, we're gonna grab resources. It's, smart thing to do, I think. I think it's easier to get them now when we don't need them than to just suddenly have to farm a bunch and like when we're in desperate need because something broke or we got stuck on a jump or we have enough jump juice to go further. Sulfur's for something too. Oh, this one has like 3 of them on it. Look at that. More of that stuff is good. So one more on there. It's the cobble stuff. Oh, there's 2 of them. sulfur's one. You. Nickel. We'll take nickel. That's for something too. It's also tougher to do that boost when sir. Ah, God. Yeah, no. Mercury. Oh, we don't have much of that. That's good. There's something we need that for, so I'll go ahead and grab it. That right there, that's 67.4. That's our next system that we're headed to. Yeah, see, it's kind of blocked, so we can't really get to it from here. We need that for something too, I think. I don't know what it is. Oh, this one has a whole bunch of things. Let's get this. You get 3 per drop, which is really nice. Oh, there we go. That's I think the rarer stuff that we need for our jump boost. Yeah, we can actually look. Yeah, see, it's level 5 for rarity. There's the 5 little, I don't know what those things are in the left corner there. I think we'll call it a day here. I just want to say thank you all for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, you can subscribe, give it a like. You can also check out my Twitter and Twitch links down below. And I hope to see all of you the next time.